All right, welcome to a high-stakes safety quiz based on OSHA's critical standard for permit-required confined spaces. The decisions you make in the next few minutes, well, they could be the difference between life and death on the job.
So, picture this. You're at the entrance, the clock is ticking, your crew is waiting on you. The pressure is on. What's the call? Is it safe to enter? This is the moment of truth.
And believe me, that is not an exaggeration. Under pressure, even experienced crews can miss critical steps. Today, we're putting you on the spot to see if you can make the right call every single time. Okay, before we dive in, let's get our teams straight. There are 3 non-negotiable roles. You've got the entrant, that's the person doing the work inside. Then there's the attendant, their lifeline on the outside. And finally, the entry supervisor, the one with the ultimate authority to sign off on that permit, but only after everything is verified.
And here it is, the single most important rule of this entire process, coming straight from OSHA. You must test the atmosphere in this specific order. Oxygen first, then flammable gases, and then potential toxics. This isn't optional, and you're about to see exactly why.
All right, briefing's over. Time to perform. Grab a pen and paper. Keep your own score. Let's see how you do under pressure. The quiz starts now.
Question 1. We literally just covered this, but it is the foundation of everything. What is the mandatory correct atmospheric testing order? I'll give you 5 seconds.
The correct answer is B, oxygen, then flammable, then toxic. And the why here is absolutely crucial. Your flammable gas meter, your LEL sensor, it actually needs oxygen to work properly. If you test for flammables when there's not enough oxygen, the sensor can lie to you. It can read 0 when there's actually a huge hazard. It's a deadly mistake.
Question 2. All right, so you've tested for oxygen first, just like you're supposed to. What's the magic window? What is the acceptable range to allow entry?
The correct answer is C, 19.5% to 23.5%. You have to be inside this window. Anything below 19.5% is an oxygen-deficient atmosphere. You risk passing out. But anything above 23.5% is oxygen-enriched, and that dramatically increases the risk of fire and explosion. Everything just burns hotter and faster.
Question 3. Your oxygen level is good. Now you're testing for flammables. At what percentage of the lower flammable limit, or LFL, does OSHA say, stop, do not enter?
The answer is B, 10%. OSHA is crystal clear on this one. Once you hit 10% of the LFL, that space is officially a hazardous atmosphere, and entry is forbidden. It's that critical early warning sign that things are getting dangerous.
Question 4. This is a quick true or false, just to make sure you were paying attention. If your oxygen reading is low, can you trust your flammable gas reading?
The answer is absolutely true. This all goes back to that first rule. See, the sensor in most LEL meters has to physically burn a tiny sample of the air to get a reading. If there's not enough oxygen, it can't burn the sample, so it gives you a reading of 0. No oxygen means you can't trust the LEL reading, period.
Question 5. Let's jump back to our team roles. Who is the one and only person responsible for checking everything and then authorizing entry by signing that permit?
The answer is B, the entry supervisor. Look, the attendant and the entrant have incredibly important jobs, but only the supervisor has the authority to sign off. Their signature on that permit is a legal declaration that says, I have verified all safety checks and it is safe to proceed. Okay, question 6. Let's focus on the attendant, that lifeline on the outside. What is their number 1 absolute unbreakable rule? The only correct answer is B. Stay outside, monitor the entrance, order an evacuation if needed, and summon rescue. It is heartbreaking how many confined space fatalities are would-be rescuers, people who rush in to help. The attendant's job is to break that tragic chain by staying out and managing the emergency from a safe location.
Let's stick with the attendant for question 7. Which one of these is not part of their job description?
The correct answer is D. OSHA is explicit about this. The attendant cannot have any other duties that might distract them. That means no fetching tools, no filling out other paperwork, nothing. Their focus has to be 100% on the safety of the people inside that space.
Question 8. Suddenly, an alarm on the gas monitor starts screaming. A prohibited condition now exists. What is the attendant's very first immediate action?
The answer is B, order immediate evacuation. And let me be clear, there is no other first step. It's not, let's finish this one last thing.
It's not, let me call the supervisor and see what they think. The very first and only action is get everyone out now.
All right, question 9. You did your pre-entry checks and everything looked good. In which of these situations is it most critical to keep that gas monitor running continuously the whole time?
And the answer is B, a space that's connected to an active system where conditions can change. This is a huge concept. The atmosphere in a confined space is not static. It's not a sealed box. Things can change in an instant, especially when connected to something like a sewer line or when the work itself is creating fumes. One test at the beginning is just not enough.
Okay, time for the final question. This is the big scenario where we put everything together. You're at a manhole entry, looks just like this one.
Here's the situation. Your readings right at the opening are perfect. 20.9% oxygen, 0 LEL. But the actual work is happening 20 feet down at the bottom. What is the correct, safe call here?
The one and only correct answer is B. You absolutely must test at multiple levels, top, middle, and bottom in the correct order. Here's why. It's called stratification. Different gases have different weights. Some heavy gases, like hydrogen sulfide, will sink and pool at the bottom. Lighter gases might rise. Testing only the opening tells you nothing about the air where you'll actually be working. It's a classic and fatal mistake.
And that's the test. The pressure's off, pencils down. Take a look at your answers. How did you score?
If you got 9 or 10 correct, excellent work. You are thinking like an expert. If you landed in the 7 to 8 range, you're proficient, you know your stuff, but there are a couple things to brush up on. And hey, if you scored below 7, that's okay, but it's a clear signal to stop, review this material, and get some retraining before you're on a permit.
So let's lock this in with a quick and dirty cheat sheet. These are the non-negotiables. Testing order: always oxygen, then flammable, then toxic. Safe oxygen, 19.5 to 23.5%. LEL limit, stop at 10%. The attendant's #1 job: stay outside, monitor, and call for help. Never enter. And finally, authorization. Nobody goes in without the entry supervisor's signature. These aren't just rules, they're lifelines.
If you want to learn more about workplace safety and OSHA rules, subscribe to HSE Study.